Do I know him?
안녕하세요.
오!
비정준입니다.
오!
일단 킬링 보이스에 나오게 돼서 진심으로 감사드린다는 말씀 여러분들께 드리고 싶고요. 그리고 연초에 나로 바꾸자라고 여러분들께 신곡 들려드렸는데 신곡이 또 나왔어요. 글쎄 또 나왔어. 제목은 와이돈입니다.
I love how
요거 마지막에
deep his voice is.
많은 사랑 부탁드리고요. 그리고 제 1집부터 제가 연습을 많이 해봤는데 히트곡이 꽤 있더라고요. 좀 지겹더라도 끝까지 좀 들어주시고요. 그리고 오늘 잊지 말아야 될 게 죄송하지만 꾸러기 표정 굉장히 많이 질
I love his style too.
것 같아요. 애초부터 보기 싫으신 분들은 안 보셔도 됩니다. 근데 뭐 봐서 또 안 될 건 없잖아요, 우리가.
Killing voice? Is that what the show is called? I assume the song is called Rain. But killing voice sounds a little aggressive, no? Ooh.
또 뭐 실수하더라도 중간에 저는 그냥 뭐 없습니다. 그냥 백도 없으니까요. 그냥 끝까지 가겠습니다. 저는 좀 꽤 길어요.
I feel like this guy should be in movies like, blah, 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 blah. You're so hot, baby. Like he has a good speaking voice.
다른 것보다 아무튼 와이론이 끝까지 좀 들어주시고요. 아마 지금 각종 음원 사이트에 나갈 겁니다. 말이 너무 길다고요? 그럼 시작해볼까요? 비트 주세요.
야, 어떻게 이럴 수가 있어?
예.
어떻게 이럴 수가 있냐고. 어떻게
다들 아시겠지만
어떻게 날 이렇게 속일 수 있어?
이 노래 진짜 좋아요.
I can't tell if the female is supposed to be sad or sexy. I can't tell.
말해봐.
나는 그대 가질 수 없는 형편없는 남자기에 너는 봐선 안 되는 아름다운 여자이기에
Okay, so I like it. I like him. I like the deep, very masculine voice. So far, I feel he is well rehearsed. This has a very boy bandy vibe to it, the kind of singing he's doing. It's designed to be very breathy and sexy, right? A lot of that's a technique used in pop. If you listen, I'll keep listening for it, but you'll hear an exhalation at the end of a line. So if I sang like, oh, it's kind of adds this sexy dynamic or emotional dynamic anyway. I tried to judge him in my head and say, oh, he's just good looking and he kind of has sex appeal and he's like a boy band singer. But I stopped myself because it technically feels actually more sound than I expected it to. This is edited, but it's kind of neither here nor there. They could have recorded him live and then gone in and done some edits and punches. I don't know if I've taught you guys about punches. I think I have. I assume the format of this show is meant to be very live. I've seen other ones like this. I think there's one called One Take. But again, keep in mind that even if it is edited, I will tell you guys this till my last breath. Even if it is edited, it doesn't mean the singer is not capable of doing a very similar performance. As I've explained, our ears are used to hearing extreme polish. No wavers in the pitch, no wavers in the tone. And because we're used to hearing it, it's just kind of a cycle that keeps itself in motion. It's the same reason why, again, I've said, when I go to make live videos, sometimes I feel pressured to polish them like this because you guys were also, me as a fan of other artists, we're so used to hearing the polish. This is polished, but he's good.
이렇게 후회하는지 너에게 좋은 남자가 아니야 너에게 어울리는 사랑이 아니야
I actually will go so far as to say I think some of this is punched or overdubbed because energetically and vowel-wise. I've explained that to you guys before. I could rewind it, but I won't bore you with it at this juncture. Maybe I will halfway through the video, but you can just see sometimes the vowels are slightly different shape. I'm not pointing this out. Look me deep in the eye right now. I'm not pointing this out to shit on any artists. I'm pointing this out so that, I don't know, to educate you, so that you see what an industry professional, someone who works in the music industry, what we see and what we hear, and what we know to some degree when we review material like this. But he's great. It's good. So just understand that. And man, he's handsome.
그런 사람을 향한 난 나쁜 남자야 나쁜 남자야
That riff was not super clean, but the head voicey, falsetto-y, thinner voice he's using there is lovely. Like it's quite nice.
안경 줘, 안경. 아, 안경 껴야 되는데. 아시죠? 내 최애고.
He's a little dramatic. I like it though.
Ooh, oh baby oh.
Again, this is that deeper vibrato that I'm used to hearing in pop music in the West. A little bit deeper vibrato.
홀로 있는 나의 모습 바보 같은 나의 모습 환하게 비추는
I want to point something else out. Do you hear how he's kind of pinching his voice? This in of itself is a technique. It's not the virtuistic kind of techniques that we are used to praising artists for. Big high notes, super a million notes in a riff or a run. But it's actually something that it took me quite a long while in my career to understand how important techniques like this are when it comes to helping people believe that you're feeling real emotion, helping people feel real emotion, and keeping your performance interesting and thick with details, right? He could just go blah, 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 blah. But if he goes blah, 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 suddenly, ooh, feels a little sizzly, feels a little sexy, feels a little more interesting. So that's a technique, and he's using it really well.
태양이 싫어 태양이 싫어 누군가 알아보면 왜 우냐 물어보면 대답을 해줄 수가 없는 게 너무 싫었어 태양을 피하고 싶어서 아무리 달려봐도 태양은 계속 내 위고 너를 너무 잊고 싶어서 아무리 애썼어도 아무리 애썼어도 넌 내 안에 있어. Yeah.
This is not one of the most virtuistic, I'll use that word again, technically masterful singers I've seen, but I really like him. I feel like I would listen to this music in my car. I feel like I like his voice. This is a wonderful example of how someone's artistry matters more than having some sort of crazy vocal technique. I just like him. I like the sound of his voice. I like the decisions he makes. I like how it feels to listen to him. Do you see how that's completely separate than me saying, wow, that's a very, very high note, or wow, that riff has a million notes. And those things are real and special too. But this is, I just think he's a great package. I can see why people like him. I like him. I like the vibe of the songs. I like the way he's using his voice, which is good, by the way. I'm not saying he's not a good singer. I'm saying he's just not a virtuistic singer like, I don't know, JJ or, do you know what I mean? He's just great. He's just enjoyable.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
너무 깊이 밖에 뺄 수 없는 가시같이 너무 깊이 닫혀 나올 수 없는 상처같이 너라는 사람도 무지 지워지질 않지 헤어져도 같이 살아가는 것 같이 눈물로 너를 다 흘려 씌워 버릴 수만 있다면야 끝없이 울어 내 눈물의 강을 이뤄 흐를 정도로 많이 울어서라도
It's kind of cool to hear a good singer also be a effective rapper, because I think sometimes we try and have singers rap and it's always kind of like, oh. Actually, I put a song out several years ago that had a little section. I wouldn't call it rap, but it was like a rhythmic-y, talky section. And the producer and I laughed and laughed. And I actually, to the point where I kind of got upset because it was just so uncool. Like, it's hard to make it cool when your specialty is singing. But I mean, I don't know him. Maybe he started as a rapper, but I thought that felt authentic. I thought it was effective. And that's cool that he's not just a rapper or just a singer, but is good at both.
너를 잊고 제대로 살고 싶어 제대로 살고 싶어
It is kind of extra drama, extra swag though, but I still like him.
자, 이번 곡은 잘 모르시는 분들도 계실 거예요.
Oh, he's singing a whole bunch of songs too. Cool. I can hear some editing in there, which is fine, but I would also say his agility, his riffs are they have, it's effective. It's good and it's effective, but I don't even know how to vocalize what I'm trying to say. It's just not as clean. It is clean. It is clean because it's pitch perfect because it's edited, but I would be curious. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I just heard what I heard. Yeah, how do I say this? How do I say?
누군지 모르겠어.
Okay, I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I want you to listen. I want you to listen to his vibrato. You can, and you know that I'm always guessing based on my experience, but I want you to listen to his vibrato, and I can hear editing, I believe, in his vibrato. I've talked to you before how Auto-Tune or Melodyne is one of the industry standard programs that we use, and it will take when notes, if there's a note here and a note here, and that's kind of how vibrato works, right? We're kind of tilting back and forth from one note to the other consistently. But what these programs will do is they will try and clean the motions. That's kind of a crude way to describe it, but they will clean the motions between the notes as well as perfecting where the notes land. So sometimes when we do that, it ends up feeling wibbly. I don't have a good word to describe it, but it doesn't sound human. It doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound loose. It ends up sounding kind of tight. Let's see.
누군지 모르겠어.
Yeah, that's edited vibrato. And it's fine. I'm just showing you.
내 기억 속에 슬픈 얼굴.
I have one more thing to say about that. The reason that it stuck out in that one spot, I'm just going to make a guess. Total guess out of left field. When a singer uses vibrato that's really wide, really deep, for example, big note changes, and the producer decides that it's not tasteful, it's not tasty, it doesn't suit the song or suit the genre or whatever. They can take these programs and they can make the waves tighter. So they, instead of they can make it And again, when we manipulate the distance between notes, that's where we start to hear that extra, too clean sound. So that's why I pointed it out there. And I have a feeling it's because he just did wider vibrato. Guess, total speculation. I think he did wider vibrato or something that they didn't like in that teeny piece of vibrato. So they tightened it up.
기억이 나지 않아.
Nah. Yeah, with his riffs, they are. I have a word on the tip of my tongue, but I feel like you guys will yell at me if I use it. Because I don't mean it as it was gonna come out. What I was gonna say is lazy, but I don't actually mean lazy. He's trying very hard. It's a word that I'll use when I'm coaching, when I am referring to the vocal musculature, let's say. So, great singer, great vibe, great tone, great sound, and decent agility. But the riffs, to me, sound like they're just stopping short of being as crispy as a really strong riffer. It doesn't freaking matter, because it's still really great to listen to, and there's tons of other things going on that are so appealing. I'm just sharing with you what I think my ear is sensing is, yeah, he's just, I don't know, he's a decent riffer. He's decent.
머릿속에서 맴도는데 그녀가 누구인지 왜 우는지.
He's also putting vibrato inside his riffs. I sometimes fall into that pitfall too, and it makes the riff sound a little less crispy, because if you think of what a riff is, let's say a riff is that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5 notes. So if I try to go right, if I'm doing vibrato inside that riff, it just sounds like shaky and messy, and it doesn't actually mean it doesn't mean we're bad singers. It actually just shows how vibrato comes very easy, and so you actually have to be very careful to not overuse vibrato. We don't want to use vibrato on teeny tiny short notes. I'm guilty of this. I've heard him do it a few times. It's not a bad thing. It's just something I've observed.
왜 우는지 알 수는 없지만 내 맘 한구석이 자꾸 저려와서 숨을 쉴 수가 없어.
That vibrato was edited too.
그녀를 붙잡고 싶은데.
Hey. How do I describe? I think that he's using, in my coaching practice, I would say they have H in them, where we're using the huff of air to support the note changes. Does that make sense? Does that hopefully help?
손을 내밀 때면
둘째야.
내 기억에서 모두 사라진 거라고 그렇게 믿었던 건 나의.
There's almost a theatrical, like a Broadway theatrical tone to sometimes when he's in that uppery midi section of his voice. To be clear, I still really like him. I don't know if I'm getting too technical and picking him apart too much. It's just an interesting performance to analyze because it's good. It's good. It's not like it's a train wreck where I have to cover my eyes and still find nice things to say. It's really good. I just am finding opportunities to point things out to you guys. Okay, so we just heard him go from a thicker place in his voice to the more thin place in his voice. And it's good, but this is not the same as like a vocal guru would do it. Actually, we're going to listen to that again where he switches from the thicker sound to sound. It's not as effective as I've heard some singers, but that's not his shtick, being a virtuistic vocalist. That's not what makes this singer special. He's a really, really, really good singer, but not in the virtuistic way that some of the singers are that I've reviewed. Like, that's not the prettiest tone. Is it working? Yes. Is it effective? Yes. That's all. It's just I've heard other singers make. Actually, it's not even technically anything wrong with it. I've just heard a more pleasing choice out of some other male singers we've seen. Good though. Solid, strong, good.
이제야 알겠어 잊고 싶었던 너라는 걸 오랫동안 내 곁에 머물렀던 너의 얼굴 너무 사랑했던 얼굴
That's nice. It's just really nice tone to hear him kind of compress up into that place. It's a nice tone.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Fade out. 자 신나볼까?
you B. This is a B.
아이 좋아. 너무 좋아.
Put your hands up.
Come on.
Put your hands up.
아이 좋아.
손 들어.
Give it up, yeah.
Give it up, yo.
Like this show, like this, come on. Yeah, 아이 좋아.
손 들어.
랩한다.
Check it out, beat, come on.
무슨 말 하려고 그러고 있니? 도대체 무슨 말이길래 말을 못하니? 말을 하면 혹시 내가 그 말 울어버릴? 까봐 못하는 말이라면 그게 사실이라면 그래 차라리 말하지 마 그러면 내가 알아서 알아들을 테니 살짝 웃으며 돌아서줄 테니 네가 나의 곁을 떠나 다른 사람에게로 간다면
가면
This is like a really fun summer song. And for what it's worth, that was a neat transition between his rappy, talky sound and right into singing. But that perfect, that flawless it's I would say damn near impossible, but man is it cool to see it come to life like this.
떠난다면
내 곁에 있는 것보다 다른 사람의 품이 좋다면
그렇다면 네가 좋다면
언제라도 좋으니 안녕이란 말 대신 작은 미소 하나만 주면
I'm laughing because it's like part of me thinks it's kind of cheesy, but I'm also laughing at myself because I like it and I see why people like it.
안 돼.
그런데 너는
오케이.
그런데
물 좀 때리고
This artist must be very popular again because this is a lot of songs he's rolling through, which I'm assuming are his hits. To have this many hits, he must be very well loved and have had a substantial career up till now. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at all.
아이 좋아. You, oh, come on. Oh, I do.
Ooh, that's a nice riff.
그말 I do. 너 있을 때마다 조심스럽게 마음속으로 I do, yeah. Wanna spend my life with you. Oh yeah. 있기를. Hey. Hey. 방구석에 있으면 뭐해? 박수라도 쳐야지. Hey. 어디 방만 그렇게 하는 그런 놈은 아니에요. 그러네요. 말씀 많지만 순종적인 그런 귀염둥이에요. 예뻐해줘요. Yes. 라라라라라라라라라. Come on. La 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 la. Yeah, show me what you got. Yeah, what you got. 난 누울 수 있는 땅은 많지 남들처럼 없어도 있는 중 외제차만 돌리는 cheesy와는 달라도 완전히.
He's highly entertaining. I am assuming that his live shows are highly entertaining. Just watching him here stand alone in a room, he's not only is he entertaining to watch, but whether he's a songwriter on these songs, he's just and I can tell he likes playing with genres. We've got this sort of like he's touching many different, like he's got like a playful summer song, and then he's got a ballad, and he's got kind of rapping, and now he's got this ra-pa-pa-pa-pa thing going, and it's all entertaining, but it all feels like him, but it all feels like also he's leaning into these other genres and places and spaces. I really like this artist.
Yeah, follow me. Maserati, Ferrari, 키는 필요 없어. 난 몸뚱아리 자체가 so rich 하니까 위치가 나니까 그렇게 사니까 이런 신발끈은 꽉.
And it's worth also saying that because he's doing singing and rapping and talking and all the things, I would say that he is actually quite masterful vocally, but in a different way than a virtuistic singer. He's just a really wonderful vocalist all the way around, right? He's, no matter what kind of sounds he's making, whether he's talking, rapping, singing, we're convinced it's authentic to whatever it is he does. We believe him, even if he does do sometimes some cheesy things that make me laugh. But even as I'm laughing, I'm still like enjoying it, and it's still kind of sexy and cute. Do you know what I mean? And isn't that our job as an artist, to entertain? It's not, sometimes I forget that. It's not just my job to be as vocally perfect as humanly possible. It's also my job to be entertaining. And this artist is both a great vocalist and highly entertaining. That's a huge win.
좀 풀래. 오늘은 다른 말 하기가 싫어. 그냥 있는 티 내기는 싫어. 오늘은 나 좀 할래. 나처럼 쫙 빼입고. 오늘은 달려.
아, 한잔 해야 되는데.
아 너무 좋아.
라라라라라. 라송 다음엔 힙송. 송송송.
This is hip-song.
아, 이것도 춤춰.
Okay, I'm dumb. I'm just noticing now that they're actually showing us the year these songs came out. And I think I saw 2002 on one of them, so this guy's been at it for a bazillion years. Wow.
너무 좁아. 그래도 모르니까.
It's like funny and sexy at the same time.
야, 내 머리부터 발끝까지 눈에 띄게 자랑할게. 이제 나도 바뀔 때가 되지 않나 싶기도 해. 난 나만의 인생을 즐기는 슈퍼맨이야. 내가 앞서가면 사람들이 따라오곤 해. 물론 내가 맘대로 지정할 순 없다고 해. 나는 그런 마력 있는 사람이라고도 해요. 이거 다 알잖아. This is hip song rock tonight. 엉덩이를 흔들어봐. 내가 뭘 하든 걱정할 필요 없어. 지금 난 믿고. This is hip song rock tonight. 엉덩이를 흔들어봐. 내가 뭘 하든 걱정할 필요 없어. 지금 난 믿고. 오빠만 믿어.
So interesting. This is hip song, blah, 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 blah. This actually goes to show how good of a singer he is, because that melody is too pedestrian for him. He's too much of what I call a singy singer for a pedestrian melody, like blah, 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 blah. That's the same note. Same, 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 it's the same, 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 down, down. And so we heard him do vibrato, like it's just, when you're a singer who's used to doing more complex melodies and you're handed a melody that simple, sometimes we end up coming off like it's not always the best look, because it's like putting a horse who loves to run and gallop in like a teeny tiny little corral, and we have to sort of keep turning in circles. So that's actually cool. That shows in a way how good of a singer he is, because I think the melody is simple for him. It's, and maybe it's hooky. Obviously it was a hit in 2010, and maybe I'm just making fun of the sound of songs in 2010 because that's nearly 15 years ago, but I still think it comments on how used to singing more complex melodies this singer is.
아, 이거 분위기 잡아야 되는데. 아, 이것도 춤춰야 되는데.
Yo, Rain is back. We're gonna go one more time. 2004, JYP.
Oh God.
Are you?
다시 올라선 무대 조명이 날 비추면 난 조금씩
Okay, so the guy's a great dancer, but I still find it half cheesy, hilarious, and half like legitimately very sexy.
사람들의 함성이 나의 이름을 불러주면 난 조금씩 강렬한 음악이 나의 몸속에 빠지면 내 귓가에 뭐라고?
You know what I've stopped myself from saying quite a few times is talking about the fact that he is a little masky sounding. And there's two different ways to talk about nasal singing. One is to say a singer is nasal. The other one is to say a singer is masky. And the reason I think there's an important differentiation is because nasal is generally a term we would use if a singer is singing their tongue. I don't know if I've ever really talked so much about nasal singing, but if their tongue is too high up in the mid or back, it ends up sending sound and air out through the nose, and it's a very distinct sound. But then the term masky, masks, singing through your mask a little bit, it means a higher-ish tongue placement. But even in musical theater, like Broadway singers in productions, like older productions, they used to like this style of slightly more pingy, masky singing. So I was hesitant to bring this up because I think that it's when we say a singer is nasal or singing through their nose, immediately people are like I can see some people jumping down my throat for saying that because he's a great singer and he's a very great to listen to singer. But I guess what I'm more pointing out is he has a pingier position. He's sending he's mixing more of kind of this and this. And that is not frowned upon. So this isn't even a negative or positive thing. I'm pointing out more just that we get more of a buzzy, pingy sound when we sing a little bit up through the mask as opposed to just more straight down and out through the mouth. And most singers rotate. There's songs or genres or moments or vowels or words where we tend to be more masky. If you think about, try this. Sing on O. Say, oh. Now, what if I asked you to sing through this sound? Now plug your nose. Right? We cannot sing the sound without air and sound coming through the nose. It's not possible. So there has to be mask involved in But what happens sometimes is when we sing oh. Now, if I do it with good, solid, proper, relaxed technique, oh, I, ooh. Do you see how the sound does not change? Now, if I change my tongue position to too high, move it too high, oh, see how the sound changes? Because I am utilizing my mask more. So this is a long sideways discussion to point out that he sometimes has a more pingy mask sound. So it's not bad nor wrong, but it's why we hear more of a bright, sometimes a brighter, a pingy sound.
Go rain, it's raining, it's raining.
터질 것 같은 스피커 소리가 날 깨우면 내 귓가에
Rain, go rain.
아이, 좋아.
It's raining.
Now, oh, let the music control my body. 이게 나의 팔다리 다 맞게 잘 let it go. 내 몸이 움직이는 대로 go.
Oh, I kind of liked that. I thought, yeah. Now that, is that bad technique? No. But I find a bit much. But I think also, again, the song is from 2004. These techniques or these sounds, these vibes move in and out of trend. So I can't say that that's a personal thing to him that's bad necessarily, because it might be just attached to the time that the song came out, or the song was written or produced.
기다리는 게 뭔지 원하는 건 이제 모두 보여줬어.
다들 원하는 거죠?
I wonder if this guy appears ever in TV or movies, because I feel he should. He's super handsome and he's so animated and fun to watch, and he's not only in great control of his voice, but his body too. He's a great dancer, but he's also just animated in a really fun way to watch. And his voice is also that deep, sexy, more masculine sounding voice that lots of women tend to like. So I wonder if this guy does TV and movies.
이번엔 가능해. 제자리에서.
Ooh, he's sexy. I don't know about this move though.
아, 놀고 싶다.
But it is really great to see men move well like this. I mean, I'm sure it's nice to see women move well too, but where I live, I don't see men dance a whole lot. Or not, maybe it's not where I live, maybe it's just my life. But it's nice to see men like relaxed in their body and just move well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bad boy. 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 I gotta be a bad girl. I'm gonna be a bad boy. I gotta be a bad boy. 나를 보는 시선들을 느껴. How do you feel? Maximize. 피하려고 애를 써도 느껴지는 나의 Rainism. Rainism 빠져버렸어. She's crazy now.
No. That's a more masky sound if you want to rewind and listen to that just for your interest.
Bad boy, I gotta be a bad boy. I'm gonna be a bad boy. I gotta be a bad boy. I'm gonna be a bad boy.
너무 좋아.
I'm gonna be a bad boy. I'm gonna be a bad boy. I gotta be a bad boy. 심장이 파고드는 rhythm 느껴봐. I feel my soul.
Again, this is a song where I feel like he's too good of a singer for this pedestrian and simple of a melody.
하나 되어 외치는 나만의 Rainism. I'm making Rainism. 내 몸을
He's also rushing, but I don't really know why. Or something's weird.
느껴버렸어.
섹시하죠? 미안합니다.
But I should point out that to whatever degree this is live, this is a long spell. This is a long time that he's performing. So, fair.
좋은데 어떻게? Break it down. 아, 이거 내가 춤추려고 브레이크다운까지 갖고 왔는데. 자, 이제 좀 조용해질까요?
오늘도 서성이는 너의 집 화가 나는 건 나는 어떻게
Okay, so I was just going to point out that none of that vibrato felt at all tuned or edited to me till this last teeny tiny piece right here. Let's see.
나는 어떻게
That. Do you hear?
나는 힘든데 이렇게
Nice.
하지만 나는 어쩔 수 없어 내 마음을 돌리긴 너무 늦은 걸 끝나버렸어 어쩔 수 없어 이젠
Do you hear again? Hitching. A lot of those exhales at the end. I like it, but sometimes I think these things happen without us noticing, and we're like, oh, this feels really sad, or this feels really sexy, or whatever. And sometimes we don't know why or how they've been able to convince us of that. And it's not just the melody. Sometimes it's things like that.
Ooh, oh.
That is a very masky sound too.
한순간 내 몸에 익숙했던 네 손이 날 밀어내 나는 어떡해
How have you not shown me him sooner? I like him.
나는 어떡해 어느덧 떠나간 너의 숨결 아직도 널 사랑해 나는 어떡해 나는 어떡해 제발 제발
I love when you can hear a singer's mouth. And by that I mean, this is going to sound gross, but you can kind of hear like the spit in their mouth a little bit and the shape of their mouth. I love that. That generally indicates when a singer is really, really close up to the mic, especially in a studio setting. These mics are designed to pick up every little thing. And I just think it's really intimate to hear the details of a singer's mouth.
제발
You're giving him a little water break.
이 노래는 진실했던 사랑 이야기 모든 걸 다
So this is an example of what we call a delay. So I've talked about in another one of my videos, reverb, that is we still kind of hear the tail end of what a singer has sung after they've finished singing it. But this is called a delay where we hear, or an echo you could call it, but you hear the entire phrase they sang repeating.
바쳤던 나의 이야기 하지만 이젠 끝을 모두 맺어버린
Nice phrase.
지나간 나의 사랑이야 지나간 나의 사랑이야
So I just want to point something out. We don't know what he is hearing in his ears right now. He's definitely hearing cues, or else he wouldn't have known when to come in. If you noticed, he kind of came in on his own. So he's definitely got cues. Someone might be saying 3, 4, here you go. But also, we don't know what he's hearing. He could be hearing right now some instruments. We don't know. But it is very, very difficult to sing with no instruments playing. It's very unlikely he's listening to nothing because it's too risky. There's no point when they can feed him the noise without us hearing it. But I know there's a very famous Whitney Houston song, I Will Always Love You. And the beginning is like, if I should stay, I would only be in your way. It goes on and on and on, but the point is it's all a cappella. And the scary thing about doing stuff like this live, especially in a smaller production, right? I'm not playing in amphitheaters like some of these guys. You don't have the technology to have somebody, making sure that you're on track with in your ears. So when I've played that song live, it's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking because you do this a cappella part and then the instruments are going to come in and you hope that you've not moved even a slight bit out of tune, or else the instruments come in and it's 2 different keys. Oh, it's ugly. So again, just using this as an opportunity, we don't know what he's hearing, but a cappella singing can be scary stuff. You have to be very careful.
Yeah. I love you 아직도 사랑해 yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, he held out on us. We got along and loud, and it was a good one, a compressed one. That was great.
하지만 이제 끝을 모두 맺어버린 I love you 아직도 사랑해 들린다면 내 곁에 다시 돌아와줘 I love you 아직도 사랑해.
This guy really likes to play with vowels. I realize that this is not a language I know as well as English. Well, it's not a language I know at all. But I still, now that I've heard more and more, I'm starting to become more familiar. I mean, there's so many different sounds in these languages than what I'm used to. But I that is why it's starting to sound out to me. He's choosing to kind of play with shapes, which is a really interesting, like Lady Gaga does it a lot. Taylor Swift does it, Billie Eilish. It's a very common thing to do as artists, but I guess I'm just starting to become a little tiny bit familiar with, I don't want to say familiar with the language because I'm not, but just the way it sounds. I can tell he likes playing with it in a very pop way. I like it.
Oh, hello, yeah.
여러분, 또 신나볼까요?
How many songs could there be?
네. 올해 1월에 여러분들 덕분에 많은 사랑을 받았던 곡인데요. 너무 감사드리고요. 오늘은 중요한 건 진영이 형이 없습니다. 아이 좋아.
I want this guy to talk to me all day, all night.
다시 춤출 거예요.
And then I want him to dance for me all day, all night.
예.
네 남자가 있다는 사실 알아.
That's a pretty pingy, masky sound.
그림자에게 미안하지만 그 자리에 탐나.
Cha, 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 cha. Do you hear the difference?
나쁘지 않은 사람인가 봐라. 하지만 그와 있기에는 내가 너무 사라졌나. 너를 어떻게 대했니? 네가 얼마나 특별한지 알기는 못 나갔니? 지금 내가 널 바보는 눈으로 나를 바라보니 그게 아니라면 네 남자를 본 적은 없어도 뭐라 설명할 순 없어도 이런 내가 맞는 것 같아 내게 기회를 줘 나로 바꾸자 나로 바꾸자 제발 나로 바꾸자 나로 바꾸자 제발
자, 이번에 드디어 3월 3일 날 드디어 신곡이 나옵니다. Why Don't We? 지금 나왔을걸요? 네, 청하 씨랑 같이 불렀어요. 바로 이 음악입니다. 많이 사랑해주세요. 안무 동영상 꼭 보세요.
Oh, his name is Rain. His artist name is Rain? His name is Rain?
반복감이 traumatized 그때 난 널 생각했지 in my mind Oh baby every time I think of you 나 안정이 되고 있어 그 oh baby baby Oh yeah yeah 갖고 싶은 건 없어 Baby I'm a boss I won't waste time no more 난 너랑 나 단둘이 지금이라도 날아가고 싶어 You ain't gotta worry about 너무 걱정하지 마 baby
I feel like this guy deserves the career he's had. Because it just, again, looking at the years, I can see why he's had a fan base all through the years. And I can see why industry people wanted to continue to work with him He's a really diverse, really playful, really entertaining artist, and really great singer. Again, maybe not the virtuistic kind of singer. I guess it's more talking, yeah. I think that there's just some singers like to sing songs that are incredibly intricate. He, to me, is one on the hot, like the more intricate end of the spectrum where he excels, but not, again, I'll just use that word again, not virtuistic like some singers I've seen, but really, really, really strong. But he's a fun rapper. He likes speaking. He likes, I think he just likes entertaining. I think he likes storytelling. I think his body and his voice and everything kind of is a really great package. This is very edited sounding, and I understand why they did it, because we can see this song came out in 2021. This kind of style is meant to sound very static. Those same notes in a row. We've had similar songs like that in the past, but this particular style is designed to sound almost, not robotic, this is the wrong word, but electronic. It's supposed to sound a little bit electronic, and the human bot, like, we're not really designed to do that. That's the whole idea. So you have to kind of get in there a little bit and take out any pitch deviation so it has that really static sound.
Settle down, it's forever now. 대충 내려놔. 잠시만이라도. Hey, why don't we? Why don't we? 떠나고만 싶어 저기 somewhere 전화기나 너야 저기 그러고만 했잖아 내가 everything is excuse for today. Why don't we?
You know, some artists that dance and move around this much, I don't believe them. Like, I just feel it's what these moves were what they were told to do. With him, I think he likes it. I mean, who knows? I'm speculating, but I think it's fun for him. I think he enjoys that aspect of it.
Why don't we? Why don't we?
This is really less singy than anything I've seen. This is very produced, but that's the style of this song.
Why don't we?
여러분, why don't you?
감사합니다. 시시. 땡큐. 사랑해요. 전 이만 퇴근하겠습니다.
That's good.
와이돈이에요. 잊지 마.
He's a babe. I like him.